Good evening, YouTube and the internets. This video is going to be quick, dirty. Well, not dirty because I'm not going to actually do anything. Last video I told you I'd taken 2 more blocks and cranks that I'd picked up on the cheap to the machine shop, and I was waiting for them. Now, last week, Friday, I got the word one of those cranks is cracked in 2 places. That's all the photos. One of the blocks is good, and both cranks were no good. So Saturday, I went and I bought another crank, $100. You know, just pulled out of a runner. And today, I got the news that one's no good either. So that's 6 for 6. I can't hold another finger up. There you go. That plus that. 6 for 6, gone, dead. So here's my ever increasing pile of broken RB shit. 2 more cranks, another cradle, another block. None of which are of any use at all for anything. So, and not to mention this one, which is scored pretty heavily, so I'm not sure how useful that would be and if it could be machined back to a useful state at all. So that's where I'm at. So at the machine shop is 1 good head, 2 good blocks. I still haven't got a report on the second block on the sizes of the mains, because it may have better mains and not need a line ball, in which case I'll use that second block. That's okay. Save myself a line ball. If not, then it doesn't really matter which one I pick. Just waiting on that report. And yeah, and I've got no cranks. I've still got no crankshafts. So I guess I'll be shopping again this weekend. A couple of people have offered me cranks through Facebook and on YouTube. So I have to look at that seriously. Most of them are offering me engines, which is more than I need. I just need a crankshaft. So to buy, by the way, I'm not expecting these people to donate engines for my car. If I was expecting that, I'd start like a GoFundMe and say, hey, I want more money for my race car, please, because that should work. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. It's not much to say, really. Screw you RBs with your friggin' shitty crankshafts. They're all cracked. The machinist is dumbfounded. He's never seen anything like it. Of course, it happens to me. Why wouldn't it happen to me? Why would it happen to anyone else? Of course it would. Anyway, that's life. Move on. If it was a character building exercise, as they say, then I must have the most character possible, because really getting close to an LS swap at this rate. Money invested in the extra cranks is only a couple of $100 at this point, because I already had the first 3. I had three engines here. But the next, you know, moving forward, I want to keep the cost down as best I can, because the plan was to use what I have to keep the cost down and still build a really good motor. The other thing, there was one dude who, he's got a crank for sale for too much money. It's all machined, lineage, ready to go, but he's got no reports on the machining. You know, he said, oh, this mob here did it. I rung them and they're like, oh, well, we don't know what we did. We did whatever the customer asked us to do. So, and that's fair enough. That's exactly what they would do. And they couldn't say whether or not it would have been crack tested, because, you know, if the customer didn't ask for it, or they said they didn't want it, then it wouldn't have been done. So, and he doesn't know if it's been crack tested himself. The dude selling it said he's not sure. So you got to assume not. So that may be a really nicely pretty machine crankshaft that's no good either, and I'm not willing to pay the money he's wanting for that to have it crack tested and fail. So jumping on Facebook sale pages looking for RB25 cranks again tonight. lot of deja vu. That's 3 weeks in a row. 4 weeks. 4 weeks in a row. I'll be looking for that. And keeping one eye on the RB26 crank market, because that might be an option. The problem with that is, well, depending on the measurements of the second block, which I hadn't considered yet, with the block that I had, that is good, the first one, it won't take a standard size piston. The bores are too far worn, so you get an RB26 block, crank and rods, RB26 crank, rods and pistons, and slam them in a 25 and boom, instant 2.6 litre stroker kit. But I've already got forged rods and pistons for the 25, which will not work with a 26 crank, because the clearances and the compression chamber will all be up the shit, and it'll smack valves and all sorts of bad stuff. But if you put all of it in, the rods and pistons from the 26 in, it all works. It's just fine. It works perfectly. But standard pistons aren't going to work because the bore's too big. They need machining out, so it's never going to work. Which means I'm probably going to need aftermarket 26 pistons, which means GTR tax and more money. So I am really looking to stay with the 25 crank, and look, if something falls in my lap that's bigger and better, then I'm definitely going to look at it. I can't write off any option at this point because I've got 0 options on the table. So anything I do find I have to consider seriously. And I know I said this before, that's it, but that's pretty much it. Signing off. Enjoy your weekends and whatnot. 24-hour Le Mans this weekend. I hope to see Fernando Alonso go well. He's racing in that, so yeah. Well, I'll enjoy my weekend racing in V8 supercars. So I'll be doing that in between looking on Gumtree and Facebook sale pages. Peace. One really quick last thing under the only light I've got left on in my garage. So it's probably pretty dark. If you're not already, I've got a Tangles 01 Facebook page where you'll see sort of, you know, stuff, more photos and things like that, and you know, when stuff is happening, I'll post photos of what sort of I'm doing live at the time on there, and you know, it's usually a week or two before a video will come out about it. And I've also just started an Insta page, account, whatever it is. Had it for a couple of weeks, and it's Tangles01_Insta. Just post photos of cars and shit on there, mostly my shit, but if I see cool cars, I'll take photos of those. And when I start going back to events and meets and things like that with the car, then I'll be, you know, uploading more then. But for now, it's just, I am uploading what's happening live on both of those accounts when I get the opportunity. So go over and follow those, and yeah, give us a hi on them. Let me know that you're there, and I'll keep up posting on those, because I haven't got many followers on those. I haven't got many on YouTube either, so much of muchness really. So, quick update. Looking on face balls and face cracks and gum trees and those places for a crank. And the dude who wanted way too much for his crank, he had it for sale 2 weeks ago for like $400. It was still for sale, and I'm like, he got down to $250 last week, and I was like, nah. And then tonight I just said, like, I'm going to message him and lowball him, and said, $100, I'll take it. And he's like, oh, can you do 150? And I just ignored the message because I didn't want to do 150. And an hour later he sent me another message, I can do 125, that's my lowest. So I just ignored that as well. And then half an hour after that he sent me another message on Facebook saying, where are you? Like, what's my location? I told him approximately where I am in Brisbane. And he said, $100 if you can come and get it before 8 o'clock tonight. So it's 6:30 now. and I'm about to get ready and go and pick up crank number 7. I might be able to save the machining costs on this one, because in theory at least it's been machined ready for 0.25mm oversized bearings, which I still have to buy, but I'm not buying more bearings until I have, you know, a crank that I know I'm going to use. There's no point in buying any more bearings. So yeah, gonna get ready and head off over there shortly, and I suppose since I haven't actually made the video for tonight yet, I might chuck that in and then edit it and upload it tonight. Well, the dude gave me his address. You can see I'm in a horse paddock right now. It was down in Logan, so if you're a Brisbane local, you know Logan's like the Parramatta of Brisbane, where all the sketchy people live. Kid was fine. He was legit and selling his thing. He said he's got a long, steep driveway, but this is his driveway. Now, on the way up, I wound the windows up, locked the doors, because I was just thinking to myself, well, maybe this kid knows that, you know, Google Maps. Oh, fuck. Oh, well, I guess I'll go to dash cam. I did have my phone recording there. Anyway, yeah, maybe these kids have figured out that Google Maps sends you up this fucking goat track, and there's sort of 2 little 4-wheel drive paths off each side here. And once you get past there, you know, you can't turn around. So you just, you know, try to sell them some parts and then jump them and beat them up and take the money. Let's just get you a little bridge here. Oh, I thought I might bottom out there. So yeah, on the way up, I'm just thinking, oh shit, these guys are going to roll me. I even only drew out exactly the right amount of money for the crankshaft, as, you know, a safety play, that if I am going to get robbed down in Logan on a Friday night, it would be, you know, it would be the least amount of money I was going to lose. But yeah, that's the dude's driveway. Yeah, I was genuinely worried, but he was fine. Young dude, yeah, bought a 33 project car. Massively underestimated the expenses. He used to sell parts to do stuff. And also he wasn't aware that you should crack test the crankshaft before using it, so he's paid to get the machining done and everything, and yeah, that's why he wanted more money for it. But to me, the machining's worthless because it needs to be crack tested first. It may be worthwhile, but I didn't get a good look at the crank at night to see if there's any rust or anything, and if the machine surface is still any good. Anyway, I need to put my Google Maps on to get home. Oh shit, I can't because my fucking phone is flat. Right. Because it was an absolute labyrinth to get down here. My phone shouldn't have been flat. Anyway, alright. I guess I'm buying a new freaking cable. I had to do this 2 days ago because I didn't have a cable in the car. I had one, but it was no good, and then I've taken this one out. So, because reasons, I had to do something with it. I forgot to put it back in, and I honestly don't think I can find my way out of where I am by nose, and I certainly can't replicate just going back the way I came, because there was 700 corners since I got off the motorway, and a closed road and a detour and roadworks and all sorts of shit. So I made it home. Yeah, the drive back was a pain in the ass. My phone kept turning off, so I kept losing my maps. I think Google Maps was drunk and it had me going the wrong way, and yeah, I was effectively lost for a little while. But I managed to get home. But yeah, moral of the story is I've got crank number 7. I'll drop it off at the machine shop next week, Monday during lunch, and cross my fingers that it is lucky number 7. See yous.